As a result of the deck having many favoured matchups post-banlist, Blue Eyes is now tier 3. At the time of this video going up, the July 2020 ban list is not yet in effect in-game. However, almost all community events will enforce a ban list as soon as it is revealed. So there are already enough results to show that Blue Eyes is definitely a part of the meta. The deck list that I shall be using today is the one that Neg1 did very well with in the finals of Clan Wars. I think this is a very nice list, and I think it may end up being the popular way to play the deck too. Bricking has always been an issue for Blue Eyes decks, but when it pops off really well. Especially with cards of consonance, which lets you generate a lot of advantage. Cosmo Brain is really good for pushing through established boards and making an early synchro monster, and it also works really well with a White Stone of Legend. Discard traps are very strong in this deck, but if you don't have Karma Cut, there are a lot of really good alternatives. I think my personal recommendation would be Econ, Treacherous, and or more copies of Break. I agree with Neg's choice of extra deck because it all is quite important. It's not that rare to make 2 Spirit Dragons in one duel. 2 Azure Eyes does come up a lot less, but when it does come up, you really do miss that second copy. Vermilion does come up a lot because it is a super nice removal card. And I think Michael is super good in this current meta, since it gives Spirit Dragon a toolbox option for banishing removal, which is nice against common threats such as Sun Saga and every instance of Lightsworn Witchcrafter. Speaking of which, Blue Eyes has a very favoured Witchcrafter matchup. This isn't too much to do with the discard traps, but more so because Blue Eyes can push through their boards relatively easily. Blue Eyes can force the negation effect to vary with something like alternative before continuing their turn. Also, aside from the tuners, the stats of the monsters in Blue Eyes are all pretty high. These things, along with the discard traps, make it quite a favoured matchup. The skill Ultimate Dragons is getting a buff in the game soon, and the updated skill isn't actually too bad. The skill gives access to Blue Eyes Twin Burst Dragon, a decent monster that can be summoned through Contact Fusion, or more commonly through the poly that the skill gives to you. To get to that poly, you need 2 Blue Eyes in your hand, which means variants playing this skill may potentially try using multiple copies of a White Stone of Legend. Multiple copies of Legend will help get 2 Blue Eyes to your hand to use the skill with. However, when you play this skill, you lose that access to Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon. The evolution skill does a lot for this deck, not only because alternative helps break boards, but also because you can add it back to your hand with a White Stone of Ancients. However, I certainly do think there could be some viable different variations of Blue Eyes, using the updated skill for Ultimate Dragons, possibly using more legends, but that will become more clear once it's able to be tested in game. The next video I do may not be until the 26th. The KCGT main event is on the 25th, and I really want to make sure I'm ready for it. I may end up uploading before then, but in case I don't, that's one of the reasons why. I am against Blackwing here, and you can always touch Blackwing because of Peak Performance or Hobby Underground. Their extra decks are normally the same too, with Joe, Chidori, Valkyrie, Fairy Dragon, Pixie Dragon, and Blackwing Dragon for close. Speaking of close, this hand I have here is really good, but does scoop to close unless I draw a stone. My opponent here makes a weird board of Pixie and Joe instead of Pixie and Valkyrie. I think Valkyrie definitely would have been better here, but it doesn't make that much difference, and I'll explain why when it comes to it. He sets the card he draws off Pixie, and the card in his hand I have no idea what it is. I got no delay on my draw phase, which tells me his face down card is not Cosmic Cyclone. If it was Blackbird Close, he would have kept it in his hand, so it's safe to assume that that face down card is a Black Whirlwind they set as a bluff. I also got no delay on Sage, which tells me the card in his hand is not Blackbird Close, and pretty much confirms his set card to being Black Whirlwind. With the Dragon Spirit of White, I banish Mountain because this turns off Pixie. Pixie requires a field spell to destroy a monster, so now he can't destroy any of my monsters or unclock his own field. The card in his hand was Cosmic Cyclone and he plays it on the break. I do not chain it because it would only unclock his field and I have nothing good to discard. Even if that Joe was a Valkyrie, I still would not have chained break because Valkyrie has nothing good to destroy in this situation. Dragon Spirit tagging into Blue Eyes means the worst he can do this turn is clear my traps. If I wasn't looking away at the start of the duel, I would have seen that he has Cosmic Cyclone because he's playing a field spell skill. He scoops quite preemptively here, but I did have lethal even though we assume he made Raikiri, and I have no Comco right now. I can turn that Blue Eyes on the field into an alternative to destroy the Pixie and then make Vermilion, and have Vermilion banish a Sage to destroy his face down card. Then I would use Agents in the Grave to add back the alternative and resummon it. And then I could discard the Blue Eyes in my hand, summon Cosmo Brain, and that would be lethal. The rest of this video will be with music. I hope you enjoy.
Get you one more time. I really